Thought you'd love this. This was sent in by producer Jam. The outlet is studyfinds.org, and the headline: Historic power beam energy test paves way for zap energy to wait, did I just hold on? Historic power beam energy test paves way to zap energy to troops from space. A little zoom in.
There's a lot going on in there,
huh? Washington.
Power energy beam.
Yeah. Could soldiers in the future receive the power for their equipment from space? A team of researchers from the U.S. Naval Research Laboratory, NRL, have demonstrated the feasibility of terrestrial microwave power beaming by transmitting 1.6 kilowatts of power over 1 kilometer. The achievement by a team at the U.S. Army Research Field in Blossom Point, Maryland, is reportedly the most significant power beaming demonstration in nearly 50 years. 50 years? Wow. What happened 50 years ago? Why did it take 50 years
for about that power beam?
Microwave power beaming is the efficient point-to-point transfer of electrical energy across free space by a directive microwave beam. The U.S. Department of Defense, DoD, believes wireless beaming of energy from space will be vital for zapping fuel supplies to battlefield troops. Scientists are also touting it as the, quote, ultimate green technology. Climate change, with a constant year-round supply available as opposed to other sporadic green energy sources. The demonstrations pave the way for power beaming on Earth, in space, and from space to Earth using power densities within safety limits set by international standard bodies. Quote, as engineers, we develop systems that will not exceed those safety limits, says Paul
that's
Yaffe.
Them saying, hey, if anybody gets fried, it's not our fault.
PhD, Paul Yaffe, PhD, power beaming and space solar lead in a media release. Quote, that means it's safe for birds, animals, and people. He didn't say robots. It's not safe for robots.
Maybe that's what this is. They're getting ready they need the space lasers to fight the robo wars.
Well, you know what though? Think about the army of robots, how they can perpetually be, working without any battery, just beam energy from space.
Right. You just do a little energy beam down to them. No batteries needed.
Yeah. Within 12 months, talk about puppet strings, like literal puppet strings.
Totally. Whoa, crazy.
It's crazy. Blown mind. Within 12 months, NRL established the practicality of terrestrial microwave power beaming and beamed 1 kilowatt of electrical power over a distance of 1 kilometer using 10 gigahertz microwave beam. The beams even cut through bad weather. Safe and continuous power beaming microwave demonstrated power beaming at 2 locations, one at the U.S. Army Research Field at Blossom Point, and the other at the Haystack Ultra-Wideband Satellite Imaging Radar, HUSIR transmitter at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Quote, the reason for setting those targets is to push this technology farther than has been demonstrated before, Yaffe said. You don't want to use too high a frequency as it can start losing power to the atmosphere, adds project principal investigator Christopher Rodenbeck, PhD, head of the Advanced Concepts Group, NRL. Quote, 10 gigahertz is a great choice because the component technology out there is cheap and mature. Even in heavy rainfall, loss of power is less than 5%. In Maryland, the team exceeded their target by 60% by beaming 1.6 kilowatts over 1 kilometer. At the Massachusetts site, the team did not have the same peak power, but the average power was much higher, thereby delivering more energy. Yaffe notes that during past experiments with laser power beaming using much higher power densities, the engineers were able to successfully implement interlock systems, so if something approached the beam, it would turn off. Oh, yay. Quote, we did not have to do that with Scope M because the power density was sufficiently low that it was intrinsically safe, Yaffe said. It goes on. I guess we should read this. Brian Tierney. Go ahead. Do you want to have a thought?
No, just whenever you're done. Yeah.
Brian Tierney, PhD, Scope M electronics engineer, says the DoD is interested in wireless power beaming, particularly wireless power beaming from space, and that a similar rectifying antenna.
Gross. Don't say that.
I don't know about the name.
This is a family show, man.
Well, it's a rectifying antenna is what they're talking about.
Say rectenna.
The rectenna array, as used for scope, could be used in space. A rectenna is a special type of receiving antenna for converting.
I'm sure it is.
For converting electromagnetic energy into direct current electricity in wireless power transmission systems. Basil, you need to get a rectenna, man.
No, I don't need a rectenna, Gonz.
I'm just going to stop there. I think that's...
Nobody needs a rectenna.
Well, no, you get wireless energy. Who needs a generator or a solar panel or wind farm when you can just get energy from space?
So this was one of the things,
energy.
I see people in the chat asking the same questions that I was asking when we first looked at this. Not the rectenna thing. That's no questions about that. Which is, they kind of talk about this as a source of energy.
Yeah.
Especially when they're trying to shoehorn the, green.
Yeah, it's green, it's climate safe.
Yeah, sure. The whole thing, they're really just shoving it in there.
They really want this product to be out there in the market in this next great reset.
They're getting their rectenna all ready to just but the green stuff made no sense, and they kind of said it and they just kind of kept going, right? That this is so green, it's going to fix the whole world. But they kind of talk about it as if it were a source of energy.
Yeah.
Which is like the biggest problem with things not being green. Look, it's not the wire that takes the electricity from the coal burning power plant to the Tesla charging station. The problem there is not the wire that brings it there. It's the coal burning power plant. So this is not a source of energy, which is, again, it really kind of is weird how
it taps into the ether, man.
No,
the Akashic Records feeding us the free energy flow, man. They figured it out. They're giving it to us now. Come on, bro.
This is just a wireless transmission device, which is cool. It's impressive how it goes, like to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But it's also not like new. Like, we've known that you could do this. The reason we don't do it is because people get fried from the inside out. They cross the beam.
Oh, kind of like the same effects people are experiencing from UFO sightings and alien presences or whatever.
I mean, the literal technology behind the Havana syndrome is a microwave beam weapon. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do that. Just like way bigger. It'll be sick, dude.
Dude, it'll power robots and all kinds of stuff, man.
Right. Yeah, it's the same people who think, good. 122 go to in the chat. It makes the point. It's like people who think that a Tesla charging station is the source of electricity that is charging their car,
yeah, that's true.
But this space energy thing. Now, look, I am very familiar with cosmic rays and the way that they can be captured. Well, I've done my fair share of tinkering from the old Tesla papers that were recovered.
Yeah,
I made a cosmic ray catching thing. Mm-hmm. Couldn't do anything with it, but the numbers
you can capture
were there.
The energy, and you can harness it and reallocate it for something useful.
I could just do it and see it on my voltometer and be like, "Wow, cool!"
You're registering it, but you can't
do anything with this. But okay. Well, famously, the guy who invented the floppy disk painted his entire house in the basically black goo that can capture cosmic rays. You can pull energies just straight out of nowhere, basically.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about the source that these things are beaming, the DoD wants to beam energy. It's not electricity, but it's in the form of microwaves.
Yeah,
becomes electricity on the other side.
Right.
To shoot that down from a satellite, they got to be talking about doing like a solar array or something in space, and then shooting that down to charge
there's no
whatever
wind up there apparently.
The kill bots, yeah, either that or they're doing some cosmic ray stuff, which they've refused to sort of admit is real. But But I think that your point about the puppet strings is really good. I mean, you think about it, even on sort of a spiritual sense, you got an army full of killbots marching across the desert in the Middle East somewhere. You can't charge them anywhere. You point your little microwave satellite space laser at them,
and they come
boom,
back to
charge
life.
them up.
Yeah.
And if you could see in the electromagnetic realm, you would see basically puppet strings controlling these little robots walking around, taking over the world. It's a pretty interesting idea.
I'm going to pull an audible because there's one more story that I wanted to include in this segment because it just fits with everything going on. And this is from CNET. And the headline here, NASA holoported a doctor onto the International Space Station. We're living in a Star Trek episode, basically. Mm-hmm. And here's what it says. I have a new noun for your vocabulary. Holoportation. Never seen Star Trek or what's the, okay.
He's trying to reinvent
no, hold on. It's an amalgam of
Who is this? Hold on. Who is saying this?
CNET.
Oh, just CNET.
CNET.com. The science the author is Monisha Ravisetti. So maybe she doesn't know.
So not a Star Trek fan.
Not a Trekkie. Yeah, maybe. It's an amalgam of hologram and teleportation. And though it may seem like it, it isn't just a niche sci-fi term buried somewhere in Isaac Asimov's novels and Star Trek episodes.
Okay.
Got us. In October, NASA used this mind-boggling futuristic mechanism to bring NASA flight surgeon Dr. Josef Schmid onto the International Space Station while he was safely planted on our planet. No rockets necessary. Schmid was joined on this trans-dimensional journey by Fernando de la Peña Yaca and CEO of AEXA Aerospace, an organization that helped develop the holoportation equipment, and a few other team members. Quote, "It is a brand new way of human exploration where our human entity is able to travel off the planet," Schmidt said in a statement earlier in April. Quote, "Our physical body is not there, but our human entity is absolutely there." And they have a picture here of the holoportation team being projected into what I assume is the International Space Station here in October. And yeah, they're all like pixelated. It kind of looks like it's really poorly photoshopped. You know, it's like if you're going to be if you're a beginner photoshopper, this is how you would, you know, make an image where you overlay something that's not there in the image. Though nearly unbelievable, holoportation isn't a totally new technology. Microsoft came up with the idea several years ago, but the primary intention of revolutionizing sectors like advertising, terrestrial, hospital care, and education, and has since been steadily developing the concept. But NASA's recent endeavor took the feat to the next level. This is the first time such virtual transportation, she keeps saying it as if it's literal.
Yeah.
The first time such virtual transportation has successfully brought people.
It's a video call.
It is, yeah.
It's a fancy video call, and she's writing as if it's,
Here's how everything went down. Basically, high-quality 3D models of the holoporters were developed, digitally compressed, transmitted, and reconstructed in the Spaceborne lab, all in real time, Basil. Meanwhile, a mixed reality display aboard the ISS, namely Microsoft's HoloLens, advertisement placement, allowed both the holoporters and astronauts to see, hear, and interact with one another as though they were in the same physical space. Astronaut Thomas Pesquet, for instance, had a two-way conversation with Schmid and De La Peña right in the middle of the ISS, despite being miles apart away from their holoporters. Okay, cool. All right.
I mean, that's kind of cool that they're doing it. I mean, this is quite the piece of journalism about it.
Well, it's part of the. I think we're at the point where they're ready to commercialize this, because the only way the marketing was really going to work is if you did something like this, and even then, it's not really. I don't hear a whole lot of people talking about it, so maybe it's not as compelling as they were hoping. But it would have to be this.
Well, HoloLens is an AR thing, isn't it? This AR. Is not in physical space. They just did an AR Skype call.
Right. Yeah. Augmented reality. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
love it.
And I don't know if the people that are actually in the ISS can interact with the holograms, like in real space or what. Who knows?
No. Not if it's AR. If it's AR, they're just kind of, it's on their glasses, man.
So, but you got to wear the.
Chilling.
I know, they got to wear the glasses, but
yeah, you take the glasses off, he's not there.
Not there.
Is just literally a Skype call.
Okay, well, that's how they deceive you, and so there you go. You got that. You got holograms of yourselves up there, and devices that apparently beam lasers to your iPhone.